Hello and welcome to another round of the Dark Helmet Racing League MX-5 Challenge. We are here at Phoenix International Raceway on their road course, and we are set up for a good round here of qualifying. Drivers now getting out for qualifying should have about 9 minutes remaining. And then we will see where everybody gets to start our next of 2 rounds here. I say 2 rounds, 2 sessions. So we're going to, after qualifying, go into a sprint session and then a feature session. Both are going to be about 15 minutes long. And the feature will have a reverse grid of the top 5. And still trying to get my stuff in order. I ran Windows Update, and it decided to change all my sound devices. So, trying to get everything back in order. But that is okay. I think we're in good shape. Looks like audio is getting picked up. That's what we like to see. Let's get timing and scoring up and see where we are at. We should start getting laps in momentarily. So we'll see where the guys fall. While we're waiting on lap times to come in, running out of events to qualify for our giveaway. Remember, folks, you need 8 events to qualify for our biggest giveaway ever. All it takes is your time to participate with us, and you get to win some pretty amazing prizes. So make sure you show up. I believe there's only 6 events left in the season. And actually, after this one, there might be only 5. So get out there, participate, and win some stuff. All right, we have some times coming in. Look at Brian Beeman. Currently finishing on top. Looks like he dropped a 106.82. Good job, Brian. Right behind him, Rich Hibbs with a 106.87. And then Philip Scott with a 107.04. So, first lap's in. We'll see how everybody falls. And let's see. I'm seeing some purple lap times come in. Ooh, Ricky going all the way up to the wall. That was nice. Let's see where Ricky finishes this lap. He set the fastest sector 2. Ricky with 107.05 comes across the line and drops a 106.49, going to P1. Nice job, Ricky. And then we have Brian Beeman and Brandon Dooley both with a 106.55. Rich Hibbs not far behind with 106.69. Nice. Field is tight. Field is definitely tight. Looks like the top 5 are separated by about a half second. No, top 6 by a half second. Let's see who else is on heater. Brian Beeman's setting purple sectors as well. Comes across the line. Does not improve. About an 8/100 slower that lap. Right around now is the time where you want to consider going into the pit, resetting, getting fresh tires, and get out there and try it again. These cars will maintain a pretty consistent lap time for a while, but still the fresh rubber does make just that little bit of difference. Fuel penalty is not super big with these cars. Brian setting a personal best, Sector 1. And does improve with a 106.34. Richard Hibbs also improving with a 106.52. And a nice little drift there into turn 1. So now we have Brian Beeman, Ricky Renner, and Rich Hibbs covering the top 4. This top 5 battle is pretty intense. Let's see, it looks like Rich is improving. So is Philip Scott. We'll follow these guys a little longer, see what Rich is able to do with this lap. And Rich crosses the line. Does not improve. Let's see Philip Scott. Also does not improve. Tires seem to be dropping off a little bit.
Wrong and I'm back with a vengeance. I show you the ropes. Piece of
Alright, just doing a quick check of data going on here. About a minute and 50 seconds left in qualifying here. So far, times are very stagnant. See a couple of people that went into the pits, but they are just hanging out. Currently still looking at Brian Beeman, Richard Hibbs, or rather Ricky Renner, then Richard Hibbs for the top 3. Nathan Nickerson, though, you have to follow him. He's set a personal best towards his last lap. Let's see if he's able to string it together. Already setting a personal best for Sector 1. I wonder if he went in to get some fresh rubber. Using all the track as he gets onto the banking. Sector 2 looks fairly competitive. Now he's just got to bring it all together here in Sector 3. Getting all the way down to the apron, crosses the line, and still does not improve. All 3 best sectors are extremely competitive. Just needs to do them all on the same lap. Rick Modstad also out there trying to get a lap in. But the time is up. These laps are done. And that's going to bring us to our grid.
All right, here we go. 15-minute sprint race. Then we'll have a 5-minute warm-up, and then another 15-minute feature. Top 5 reverse grid. Looks like it's going to be a full pace lap. It did not give me the option in the settings to do the short one, so we'll have to figure it out. But anyway, green flag on the leader or the iRacing green flag, whichever comes first. Good luck, have fun, don't die.
And there we go. So, grid looks like this. Unfortunately, the guys and gal have to go through a full pace lap, but that is okay. Gives me lots of time to talk about our raffle. So we are giving away
Nice lap, Brian.
a Cube Controls CSX3 steering wheel with extended warranty from Micro Center to one lucky winner that participates in the raffle. Details are up in the Discord, but the cliff notes are $20 entry tickets, limited, I believe 5 tickets per person, maximum entries of 50, so odds are pretty darn good here for the raffle. Entry period is going to be 3 weeks long. We're already a few days into it because it opened up basically last Saturday at midnight. So entry period I believe closes 11:59 p.m. December 5th. That's 3 full weeks. And the drawing will be the same time as our giveaway that I believe will take place on the 9th. And again, you can check out the events and giveaways section of the Discord for more information, photos, and ways to enter. So, to recap, we have our giveaway, biggest giveaway ever, and that costs you nothing to get into. And then, just as a little special something here, going into the holiday season, we have our raffle for the CSX3, which does cost money. So lots of ways to win this season at DHRL. We're happy to put this on for you guys and really appreciate you coming out to race with us. This Mazda series has been fairly successful. You know, we see 13 to 14 drivers. I feel like typically Sunday you guys have been coming out as well, anywhere between 20 and 30 drivers. It's been fantastic to see all the action this year, and also activity on the Discord. You know, our goal is to create the best community, or rather foster the best community that we can here. We're all here to have fun. Sometimes, you know, emotions run high. We got some competitive folks out there, but you know, bottom line and mandatory rule is we want you to have fun. So thank you again, and we should be kicking off the race here momentarily. Having a little bit of chaos going on in the background as everybody gets the tires warmed up, but that's okay. These things happen. Let's get timing and scoring up. And I see the start lights. Green is going to be on the leader or iRacing, whichever goes first. And Brian, number 41, takes it away. And so far, clean getaway, although 4 wide going into turn 1. Glad we had some folks back out of it. So far, so good going around turn 1. Leaders keeping it clean. Oh, got a little spin from number 9. That's Michael Schwartz. Getting somebody else collected in there. I cannot see their number. 401, that's Alexander Hamrick, but they're able to get up and going. Ooh, and Jeff Wyatt was just introduced to the wall. Let's see what happened to Jeff. Looks like Tim also crashed. Jeff Wyatt in the green 96 car. Oh, and already loose going in there and just never collects it. Just a little tap. Jeff's going to be good there. Already some bump drafting going on. Looks like that's Philip Scott. And Brandon Dooley in the backstretch going around the oval here. I see Tim Allman crash. We're going to take a look at that after we see what happens with Phil and Brandon. Phil backs out of it. This is some good stuff. Phil staying right on that bumper. Ooh. And that's Josh Elias going right round. I think the same thing that happened to Jeff Wyatt happened to him. Tim Allman had a moment. I want to see what's going on with Tim. Tim in the 83. Also loses the rear end. Just car unloaded, cold tires, and around it goes. And we're going to take a look up front. Brian Beeman getting a lot of pressure from Rich Hibbs. And Rich going around, taking the inside. And Brian coming in a little bit hot, understeering through turn 1 and 2. And that allows Ricky Renner to get on by as well. As we've learned throughout this season, these races, despite being 15 minutes, it's a lot of time to claw that back. And I'm sure Brian's going to be working away at that as we speak. He's staying right there on the back of Ricky Renner, trying to make sure he's in position for the draft. Really starting to wonder about these paints. I need to reload those halfway through here because I'm pretty sure some of these cars should be different. Brian Beeman currently still working on these guys. Spreading out a little bit. Currently have a Rich Hibbs, Ricky Renner, and Brian Beeman. 1, 2, 3. Closely behind, we have Brandon Dooley and Philip Scott entering the chat. It's about to become a 5-way battle, and in the background, I see Nathan Nickerson slowly but surely catching this group. And that's going to certainly make things interesting. Right now, nobody quite within passing distance as I look at the pack ahead.
What happened to that draft we had at Indy?
Fellas talking about the draft. Apparently, it's not as good as potentially thought it would be. Oh, and Ricky loses the rear end. Going around. Thankfully, is able to keep it out of the wall. That's going to open up the gap a little bit between Brian Beeman and Rich Hibbs. Ricky Renner able to get the car pointed the right direction.
The draft was flying Delta and it missed the connection.
Ooh, front tires are not happy in that Miata. We'll come back to him. See if we can catch the moment of what happened to Ricky. Hop it on board. Let's take the scenic route. Rear end just gets loose and is just not able to collect it. Just misses the wall. Nice job keeping that out of the wall. Looks like JP has had a couple of moments. Let's see what's going on, JP. Just a little bit of Scandi flick in there. Car's not quite happy. Let's see what the other incident is. Ooh. Yep, a little bit of contact. That wasn't so nice. I don't know if I like to see that either. One might have to escalate that to the review team. Sorry about that, JP. Going back up front, Philip Scott. About 2.5 tenths from Brandon Dooley, and Brian Beeman about 3 tenths from Rich Hibbs. I'll hop on board with Philip Scott here. Just a lot of flow here, loading up the car, waiting for it to grip up. Just gotta be real patient. The more you slide these around, the more unhappy the tires will become. Looking ahead, Brian Beeman still chasing down Rich Hibbs. Brian's not going to let him out of his sights. To have any hope at this championship, Brian's got to basically beat Rich everywhere. And Brian doing his best to make that happen. Getting gap down to about 1/10. And not going to do anything this lap. Taking his time. Got the number 66 of JP coming out of the pits. JP doing the right thing, just getting off the gas a little bit, letting these guys get through. Ooh, and Ricky Renner making moves. Let's take a look at Ricky. Ooh, got all kinds of action happening here going into turn 1. Gets one. Takes the tightest line possible, and yes sir, I'll take 2 please. Nice move, Ricky. Looking ahead, Rich Hibbs has Brian back on his tail. I think Brian's just waiting for that perfect moment. Yep, giving Rich a little bit of a push. That means Brian's feeling pretty confident that when the time comes, he's going to be able to make the move. Ooh, and Rick Mogstad's had a moment. Let's see what's going on, Rick. Rick must have decided he has had it enough. No harm, no foul. Let's get back to the leaders. Still maintaining the status quo. Looks like Rick must have had a moment before that. Oh, yep, I see Rick went off track. Let's see that. Yep, this is what's caused the tow. Hits the front left, and unfortunately, looks like he got a black and white flag, or rather a meatball flag for that. Need to go in and pit anyway. Courtney Nickerson also having a moment. A dope livery. Ooh, and just losing the rear end. These cars with the rear end unloaded seem to be getting pretty unhappy. JP having a moment. Oh, touches the grass. Yep, and that's going to send him for a ride. Able to keep it out of the wall. And away he goes. Man, I don't know about you guys, but this is like the longest 15 minutes ever. You just feel like we are at a stalemate here everywhere. Just waiting for some to make the move. Definitely looks challenging out there, though. Seeing a lot of people spinning turn one, and this may be one of those situations where carrying too much speed in there can hurt you. Got to get the car weighted up and established through that turn. Taking a look further back, I see Ricky Renner is still working on his comeback tour. Making his way up just ahead of Josh Elias. Nathan Nickerson. Nope, that's not Nathan. That was Alex Hamrick going around. Able to get it going again. Meanwhile, Nathan Nickerson currently up to P5. Then we get up to the Philip Scott, Brandon Dooley battle. Does Phil go for it? Not this time. Phil able to just get right there, but it's just not quite enough. Ooh, taking all the speed he could there, keeping it pretty clean. Pretty limited tire noise. Just trying to treat them tires right. Ooh, Brian Beeman. Right next to Richard Hibbs. Keeping Rich honest. Good stuff there. Sorry for sticking in cockpit. Kind of hard to tell what's going on, but those guys were side by side. Philip Scott almost close enough to push Brandon. Philip definitely getting a little racy at the moment. Ooh, and Ricky Renner. Looks like he was able to get around Nathan. Yep, Ricky just being nice and patient, and Nathan just carrying a little bit too much speed there. Oh, but he's going to get past again. They're going to bump a little bit. Well, this is exciting. We're going to hang out with these guys because it looks like there's another change of position. Maybe. Yep. Ricky gonna go down for that inside, to take that outside. And around the outside. Oh, and just clears the bumper, but carries way too much speed into turn one. Not even gonna mess with it. Oh, that's gonna be a massive slowdown. That's awesome. And Phil is just right there this time. Yeah. 0.13 of a second. Gaining momentum. Does he take the inside? Does he take the outside? Side by side. Coming down to turn one. Brakes real early.
Oh, almost gotcha.
And that's because that is the checkered flag. Philip, unfortunately, not getting Brandon going to the line. And got lost in those battles there at the end. That's some good stuff. We have the final drivers coming towards the line. TJ going side by side with, is that Michael Schwartz? Yes, it is. Having a little fun out there. I dig it. And now everybody's just lapping the banking. There we go, and results have come in. I'll get those on the board. I'm going to take a short break, and we will be back in 5 minutes. So don't go away. See you soon.
on the leader or the iRacing green flag, whichever comes first. Good luck, have fun, don't die. Thanks again for coming out. And see y'all Sunday for Bathurst. Sorry ahead of time, everyone.
It's gonna rain in Bathurst.
And we're back. Everybody's gridding up, got another 20 seconds or so, and that'll allow everybody another opportunity for some glory here. Let's see. Is my info working? No, it's not. Let's try to reset that. Come on, SDK. And refresh. Or don't refresh. Technology. Thinking about it. It's thinking about it. It is mad. Okay, well, since we have all this extra time, we can just hit the reset button. And try that again. Let's see if it works now. Survey says no. Well, that certainly is not cool. What is going on with SDK?
Anybody know if this car's got a USB port? I want to charge my phone.
Ah, there we go. Now we're
I think
working.
they pulled it out for weight settings.
Well, we're unfortunately not going to get a grid, but you'll have an opportunity to... Ooh. Oh, maybe I'll get a grid. Let's try it. Haha! Now you can see the grid. Cool, cool, cool. That was like pulling teeth. Alright, so with our reverse grid, we're going to have Nathan Nickerson and Philip Scott starting up front. Let's get the battles box and data up because away we go. And so far, ooh, somebody was coming in super hot there at the back, but it looks like everybody made it through unscathed. Currently, Nathan Nickerson locking down the top of the grid, and everybody being pretty clean. And we lost an Alexander Hamrick, but I know he will be back. Going up front, everybody keeping it clean. Trying to stay real close, learning from last race. Ooh. Look at that. You can get some power slides on with the Miata. And people say they don't have enough power to have fun. Clearly I haven't driven them enough. Alright. Philip chasing Nathan down. Wants that spot. Going down for the inside. Holding it down. So far keeping it clean on entry. Will he carry too much speed? Borderline. Nathan has to check up. That causes Brandon Dooley to be able to get by, and looks like the number 41 of Brian Beeman is also going to make it by. And you know, I said I'd refresh paints too. I hate to do this right now, but let's do it. I believe that is... Ooh, is it Control R? Yes, it is. And there we go. No, I'm going to do this one more time too. Just want to make sure the Trading Paints is actually running. Allegedly it's running. Things I said I'd do on the break, but I didn't do, but that is okay. Currently we have Philip Scott up front, Brandon Dooley in P2, Brian Beeman in P3, Richard Hibbs P4, and Ricky Renner in P5. You know what? I am just one of those people that once I see something not the way it should be, it will just bug me. I'll restart trading paints. Boom. And we will see if that changes anything. It does. I knew it. Man, you just cannot trust these apps to do what they're supposed to do. Alright, so now that I can fully place my attention here on the race, people look like I'm expecting them to look like. We got a pretty close battle here with Brian Beeman and Brandon Dooley. Brian doing everything he can to get by. And now Richard Hibbs trying to hustle Brian along. Brian holding it off for now, but he is definitely getting pushed around a bit. Let's see, let's hop on with Richard Hibbs. Rich not getting by this time. Keeping it clean. I'm hearing minimal tire squeals, so Rich doing what he can to keep the tires happy to the end. And right now, while these guys are at a stalemate, let's hop on with Josh Elias. Looks like he got a pass going on. Battle for P6 here. Going around Tim Allman, and Tim takes that right back. A little opportunistic. Is this that same move from a different perspective? It is. It's just a little bit of a dive. But Tim shakes it off, says, no, I don't think so. Good stuff. Back up front, we are still in a Phil, Brandon, Brian. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rich getting in the back of Brian. Brian able to roll with it.
Sorry, Brian.
That is not the right button, but that one is. Rich also under pressure of the Red Bull of Ricky Renner. Oh man, and I could just tell Richard is trying to be so darn patient, and Brian also doing what he can to be patient, but he definitely wants to get around Brandon Dooley to start putting on some hurt to Richard's championship lead. Brian keeping the car super tight there. And if they go around the banking this close, oh yeah, I'm going to be shocked if there is not some kind of moves being put on. And it actually might be put on by Rich Hibbs, who gets an excellent run out of the hairpin. So far, Brian keeping it cool, kind of telegraphing he's going to go inside. Ooh, big net code from Brian on the inside wall. Wow, he wasn't even close to that. That was crazy. Rich Hibbs that last lap just setting the fastest lap of the race with a 106.38. Hopefully Brian didn't pick up any damage on that. Car looks okay so far. So we'll get a closer look at that thing. It's the right side that came in contact, and it looks like it's okay. Philip Scott, though, keeping his head down and starting to extend his lead a little bit. And Brian really likes the wide line there, but able to get to the inside here, get a pretty tight run. It's actually gaining on Brandon Dooley. Uh-oh, and Josh Elias and Tim Allman have had some kind of moment. Let's hop on board. Josh in the 824 car. Oh, and we're jostling, seeing who's going to go where. And just gets turned. That will do it. Little bit of miscommunication there between Josh and Tim. Meanwhile, Michael Schwartz has had a moment, but we're going to hold off because Brian Beeman now is in pouncing distance. Philip Scott was reeled in by the pack. Phil must have had a moment. Unfortunately not caught in the replay, so it just must have been a little mistake. And now these guys are on top of each other. Richard Hibbs, the biggest loser there, fall down to P5. Currently scrapping it out with Ricky Renner. He's able to regain his P4 position. But now Richard is in danger with about 5 minutes remaining. And in the meantime, these guys ahead still fighting. A lot going on there. Brian Beeman up to P2. Chasing down Philip Scott. And quickly reeling him in. Looks like he's going to go for the outside. Going way wide to get the run in here. It's definitely a unique line because now you got to pinch in here. Gets real close to the cone and he gets it done. Way to go, Brian. It's allowing Phil to get a little bit of a run. But through this next complex of turns, it's going to force Phil to eventually have to woe it down here. I feel like we're at oval, so we'll use some NASCAR speak. Uh-oh. Ricky Renner has died somewhere. Let's hop on real quick, see what happened to Ricky. Ooh. Ooh. Damn. That was crazy for something that looked relatively benign. Ricky just drops the inside tire onto the grass, causes the car to loop around, and makes it all the way to the inside wall. That has resulted in Ricky having to pit. That sucks for Ricky. Ricky definitely showing some speed, as he always does. Looks like Nathan got behind TJ at one point. I want to see what's going on with that. Yeah, it looks like this is him getting back around. Nice and clean. Back up front. We have 4 cars separated by less than a second and a half. Rich Hibbs in damage limitation mode, currently at P4, doing what he can to keep Ryan from getting too much of a lead. Meanwhile, Brandon Dooley working on Philip Scott. Not going to happen this time out of turn 1, but he is definitely getting closer and closer. Ah, nice. Ricky Renner has left the pit lane. Looks like Ricky still going out there for fun. What we like to see. And ooh, Richard Hibbs super late on the brakes. We're going to have to catch that one again. That was beautiful. Looked like he went from a mile back. Before we watch that replay, though, we're going to see how these guys make it through turn 1. Brandon reeling them in. Brandon holding off. I don't know if Brandon's thinking about helping Rich out or if he's just biding his time. Got about 2 laps likely remaining. Either way, that was very nice. Yeah, I want to get that replay. We're going to try to sneak it in now. So Rich Hibbs going in here to the hairpin and just from forever back and is able to keep the car nice and neat to the inside. Looks like we had some other passes too. Tim on Nathan. This is proving to be a nice little battle. Tim's getting around here. And then Nathan, still with a pretty good run, says, no sir, I'm going to take that right back. And still gets a good exit out of there. Nice job, Nathan. Back up front. We have Brian Beeman, Philip Scott, Richard Hibbs, and Brandon Dooley all in the battle to decide who's going to win this race. I'm seeing Rick Mogstad is having a moment. Yeah, he's just going to lose the end there. Oop, and then find the wall. That's unfortunate. Michael Schwartz also having a moment. And then we're going to have to hop back up front because Philip Scott has also had a moment. Rich Hibbs gets around him for P2. And that is unfortunate. Let's take another look at that. Philip Scott going into the hairpin. That is the final lap. And Rich going for it. And a little bit of netcode also not being too
Nice race,
kind.
TJ.
And gets slapped by
That
Brandon
was fun, dude. Thank you, man. Enjoyed it.
on top of it.
Thank you.
And these guys will roll across the finish line. So taking a look at our drivers, I still have some people going around track. I'll hop on board with them, see who still needs to finish. You have JP coming around, as well as Alexander Hamrick. And there goes out JP for P8. Alex coming around to secure P9. And Ricky Renner is going to be going around for a while to lock down that P10. Courtney Nickerson coming across to finish P11. And we, I think... Yep, we have finalized results. Let's pull these up. So Brian Beeman going to take the win by a second. Richard Hibbs stealing P2 with a little help of iRacing Netcode, and Brandon Dooley rounding out the top three. Philip able to still gather it up and finish P4. Way to go, Phil. And that is... Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Is he going to hold it? No. Oh, that was sweet, though. Nice. Nice drift, Ricky. Well, that's going to do it for me here at the booth. We're going to catch you Sunday for the GTD Challenge at Bathurst. It's going to be nice and dry and awesome at such a great racetrack. I hope you all join us. That is one of my favorite racetracks, and certainly challenging, but oh my gosh, it is so much fun. And then the Tuesday after that, we are going to be back at it for the MX-5 Challenge at Donington Park. So back to a track that many will be familiar with, and we hope you come down and join us for that. So my name is Morgan here with Cleveland Beamer Sim Sports, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. We will catch you Sunday.